Hi and welcome to BUG Naari. I am your host today, Saugat Bhattacharya, hosting BUG Naari. It's very exciting for me. We are soon going to be live with Tejo Turner. Tejo has just joined. We will view 1 second. Hi, Simit. Tejo, are you around? Can you see the request? Shall we try this? Yes. Hi. Finally. Why can't I hear you?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All
Finally,
right.
you made
Yes.
it.
Yay.
So did I.
Yeah. No thanks to Instagram.
Welcome
But
to
anyway,
BUG Naari.
yeah. Thank you.
So, a quick introduction to our viewers. Tejo is a multilingual professional with over 30 years of experience in training and development, fluent in multiple languages, including French, German, and Kannada. And I also suppose that during the pandemic you learned Sanskrit. हाँ, कैसे कर लेती हो?
That's true.
I just can't believe it. And you're also pursuing your PhD in psycholinguistics.
That's right.
Awesome. And you've trained over 100,000 participants
Yes.
worldwide, from roles in journalism, marketing, HR to education.
That's true.
A warm welcome to you, Tejo.
Thank you.
Finally, we speak. Thanks for joining us. I just have a few questions. First of all, I'm intrigued by the word psycholinguistics. Can you explain to us what it is?
So I've got a master's as a psychotherapist, right, in psychotherapy. So the simplified version is how do I use language to work in therapy? Because I really believe
Oh,
that your word is the currency, right, of everything you say, think, or do. So if I can change the word internally and externally, can I better impact people?
wow. So interesting. And that's that's what you are pursuing your PhD in.
Yes, a branch of it, because I'm talking about contextual communication. So whether it's the word, for example, we say
Mhm.
I bought myself some new wheels. You really mean a new car, right? So you're just using a synecdoche or a metonym to say the same thing, but you're communicating all the time. So I'm dealing with metaphors, and how can we use metaphors in positive psychology?
Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to ask you one very simple questions, and simple questions have very deep answers.
Uh-huh.
So, from journalism to human resources, what inspired you to focus on training and development? Why did you choose training and development?
So somewhere, right? Somewhere I wanted to be this bridge between people and their ultimate potential. So I know I've been all over the place, but if you had to draw a common thread, it would be language and people. I'm absolutely fascinated by people, the human race, let's say. And when I look at a
Okay.
person, I see magic. I don't see a person. So somewhere it has always connected to people. And the easiest way to get to people is through language. So therefore the languages.
Wow. See, I told you, simple questions have very deep answers. It's awesome that what you were doing is you actually connecting with people.
Yes. Yes. And language
Super.
is a huge
You,
barrier
you're
breaker.
you're fluent in Indians know it best.
Yes.
So many languages,
Yes. I
so
think
many
all of us
dialects
are
every
on
400
average speaking, right?
kilometers.
On an average.
Correct. Don't you feel Indians uh, are the only people who speak at least three languages on an
Yes.
average?
On an average, and given the population, I would say we speak the most number of languages, and they come to us naturally. Because we do live in a very heterogeneous kind of culture, right? So they're open
Correct.
to, yeah. Your domestic help will speak one language, your neighbor will speak the other, the vendor will speak another, your best friend speaks another. So we just acquire it in a very organic manner.
So did it come to you naturally because, since we are raised in that manner where we are exposed to so many languages, did it happen to you naturally or you
Absolutely,
just gifted?
absolutely. No, I'm not sure if I'm especially gifted, yeah, or any more than any of us. So all of us grow up in an environment where people speak different languages, right? And as with children, that's how we learn
Correct,
best, correct?
correct,
We just listen, imitate. And
correct.
we're unafraid of making mistakes as children. So we'll say anything, and
Hmm.
if you speak to children, they will make themselves understood. They may be talking rubbish. They may be saying vegetable instead of vegetable. But if they do not want that vegetable,
Hmm.
they will communicate that clearly indeed. And I think children learn well because they're not afraid of
Correct,
making mistakes.
correct. And I see it in my own house. Teju. I'm married to a Maharashtrian, and I'm Bengali. My children, we spoke to them in our own languages, so
Yes.
they can speak Bengali, they can speak Marathi, they can speak Hindi and
So
English.
that's
These are,
fantastic.
anyways, common languages. So I have seen my children change the mode of communication, change the language in one
Yeah.
sentence. When they just move from me to my wife, they just change the language half sentence. So this was very amazing for me also. I was just awed कि यार ऐसा भी हो सकता है. So yeah,
That's a
I
huge
believe our culture actually
enables
helps us, right?
language.
I mean, we are surrounded by so many. Yeah,
Yeah.
superb, superb. So I think you're really fluent in French, German, Kannada. What? So
Hindi,
your inspiration is,
Telugu.
and what is your
So
inspiration?
nine to 10.
Wow. And when did you start? When did you think कि I will pursue this as my career or my passion? When was that day? कि यार, I think I'm going to learn more languages.
So I think, my mom looked at me and she started worrying. What is this child going to do? Might as well get her educated in language because so she pushed me towards French, and so I got my master's in French. And then I've always had this penchant for German. German fascinates me. So I learned German. And then Italian and
Okay.
Spanish are first cousins of French, yeah? So that's easy. And yeah, understanding a little bit of Bengali is not hard because it's very similar to Hindi. When my mother tongue is Telugu, so Kannada comes easily. And I speak Tamil because I did my master's, one of
Okay.
the masters in Chennai. So I was bored, I picked up Tamil. So and then understanding Malayalam becomes easy. So they're all just, so connected.
My goodness, I can't even think of it. I mean, I try to speak in Marathi, I try to speak in Gujarati, but I'm always making some or the other mistakes that my friends keep, correcting me. But
No, 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 just,
you have a
yeah,
special
ignore
gift,
the
I must tell
naysayers.
you.
That's why I keep saying, like, children will go ahead and go for it. They're not afraid to make a mistake. So go ahead, experiment with the language, make those mistakes, and you will be understood.
Okay, okay, okay. My next question to you, you are also a psychotherapist. So can you tell us a little more about your profession as a psychotherapist?
Yes. So human beings fascinate me, right? And I began with that. So I was wondering, what is it that is stopping us from reaching our fullest potential? I'm not talking about, people who, this far, psychology was only managing misery, right? Misery, control misery, yes. But what about people who are,
Yeah,
say, not diagnosed with anything and yet nobody's looking at it, right? So should psychology only be
hmm,
the management of disease, misery, illness, or can we look at psychology as a tool for just living a more positive life, whatever that is, as defined by you, right? And
hmm,
and it fascinated me that wherever you go, there is this need for you to be okay all the time, and we're just not wired like that. So if I had to retitle the book that says I'm okay, you're okay, I would say you're not okay, I'm not okay, and that's okay. It's okay to be not okay, right? At some point, you need to claim the right to be human, and then just putting on the
correct,
shield and mask. And how long are you going to do it? You are going to collapse. You're going to start collapsing in on yourself. So expression
correct.
and the freedom to be human, I think these two go a long way.
Awesome. I think have you written a book as yet?
Not as yet. Yeah. The only book I'm trying to finish is my thesis, which is taking me forever. But perhaps after that, perhaps after that.
No, because people like me who are fathers of young children, and they're soon going to enter the real world, so-called real world, where they're going to be faced with um, work pressure, peer pressures, and so on and so forth. A book on this would really help, and I think you should write one very soon
Thank you,
for
thank you.
us to
It is
understand. It's
pipeline.
uh,
Yeah,
you
so
have to.
I'm just saying
We are all waiting.
that gives me a lot of hope and encouragement. Thank you for that. So all I'm saying is, so look, there is a belief leads to behavior, correct? So if you believe that this interview is important, for
Hmm.
instance, then your behavior, you will wake up at 4 o'clock if you're having an afternoon nap. But here's the thing. So the mind wants to find a rational, a balance between the inside and the outside. So by changing your belief,
Hmm.
can you change your behavior? And how do you change belief? Can you have a different conversation with yourself? And that goes back to words. How will you converse with yourself or with others? So,
Hmm.
so I just traced the
Hmm.
route back to what motivated me.
Awesome, awesome. You simplify things so well. I just
Thank you.
realized I've not spoken to you earlier, but just one sentence, and you understand what you want to say. It's amazing. You know, I want to know, Chalo, you are doing so much.
Mhm.
I think the thesis book will also take a lot of your time.
Yes.
You are training, you're learning. I'm sure that a person like you keeps learning, if I'm
Yes.
not
Yes.
wrong.
Yes. Right.
How do you manage your work and personal life?
You know what, dear? The thing is, see, I'm a freelance consultant, correct? So I work when I want, if I want.
Yeah.
My last corporate job was heading L&D for Southeast Asia. But I realized I don't have the personality type that could fit into dull gray concrete buildings. I'm not meant for too much structure.
Hmm.
So being a freelance consultant, I
Okay.
decide when I want to do, what I want to do, for whom I want to do it. And then come Christmas, I'm completely off the radar. So I think freedom is a huge value for me. So here I own it. I decide.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And who do you have in your family, in your immediate family? Who do you stay with, and how do they support your career?
Some Most of the time with my PhD, they choose not to understand it. They said, listen, I cannot take this stress. I finished with exams a long time ago. I don't know why you're doing this to yourself. So, yeah, while they're there, they'd rather stay on the periphery when it comes to exams and further studying. And yeah, so there are a lot of interesting takes, right? So my husband's a musician. He's the head of department at the Bangalore School of Music. My
Okay.
daughter's a great pianist. So I guess the Turners are pretty self-expressed. I have my mother-in-law who stays with me on the ground floor. And yeah, so different people have different takes on what I'm doing. I was going in an auto for one time, and this guy said, आप तो बहुत नाइंसाफी
Yeah.
कर रहे हो मैडम. I said, क्यों? He said, नहीं, look, God has given us one brain, small brain. तो आप बहुत जबरदस्ती कर रही हो इसके साथ. बस भी करो. कितना पढ़ेंगे आप?
Oh, this was right from his heart. बोल दिया उसने. So I keep telling my wife also. She loves to take up new courses, and she's taken up a new one. I'm like, कैसे कर लेती हो यार? I तो can't think of studies. मेरे तो ऊपर से जा रहा है. But great that you're doing so much. I think you also your hobbies and interests, which is beyond your PhD and your other work.
Yeah.
What do you like to do in your free time?
Oh, I love to read, yeah. So in my purse, you might not find a comb or a lipstick, but you're sure to find a book at all times. I love to read and I love observing people. I love adventure, whatever that means. So I'm just a maverick adventure seeker, experience seeker. So I do almost
Wow,
anything it takes for that sense of adventure and experience, yes.
wow. So you live in Bangalore, and now
I
it's
do.
it's the city where you find the best beers.
Yes, for sure. And
Do you
the
like
weather is
drinking
almost
beer?
upon us, yes.
The next time I'm in Bangalore, we're going to catch up for a
We
beer.
absolutely must. We absolutely must.
So I'm going to ask you a few simple questions
So,
again. Now,
yeah.
what is your favorite language that you speak? Your favorite.
Okay. I'm risking career by saying this, but I do love German and Sanskrit. I think the two are connected, but I love German. I love the sound of it,
Really?
yeah, the grammar of it, and Sanskrit because it's so beautifully layered and so very intricate. Beautiful.
It says something in German and in Sanskrit, which probably means let's go and have beer together in a club.
Now, I have to find the exact translation of here for Sanskrit, but let's just say it in German. Kommen Sie mit, wir trinken ein Bier? That means, are you coming with me to have a
Wow. Yes, we. Bad at it, but I tried one language that came to my mind. How would you say
loud and clear.
pani piye? And in Sanskrit, if I have to say, let's go out for a walk.
Yeah. So there I would like to defer this to another conversation because I still have to get back to my spoken Sanskrit, though I've passed 4 levels of Sanskrit. It's been so rusty. So
maybe the next one.
Absolutely, because I don't want to do any language injustice by making even one small mistake.
Sure, and I respect that. I truly respect that. Okay, a book or a movie that you recommend our viewers?
My movie, it keeps changing with time, but the one that comes to my mind is Dead Poets Society, the movie. Dead Poets Society.
Okay.
It stars Robin Williams, because there's one particular line there where he takes these school children and shows them photographs of all the people who walked the corridors before, but they're all dead now. So his point is life is short. Otherwise, you're going to end up as manure for daffodils. You're going to be buried in the soil. So make the most of the short life. So it's a beautiful movie. I would recommend it, yes.
Sure, I think I'm going to watch it soon.
You must. You'd like
And
it.
what's your guilty pleasure?
Sorry? Oh, I'm not guilty about anything.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Sorry, could you say that again? What's my guilty pleasure?
Wow. Yeah.
I'm not guilty about anything I do, but I love my beer. And I love singing offbeat, much to the agony of my husband, who's a drummer. So I start when I want, stop when I want. And sometimes sometimes I use that to threaten the family.
Okay.
If you don't do this, I'll sing.
That's a good one. Super. And who is that one mentor that you look up to, that you want to mention on every live function, anywhere you go?
For some strange reason, the one name that comes to me, who fascinated me, is Rasputin, from the song Rara Rasputin. He just fascinates me. What is it about him that drove so many people insane? So he fascinates me. I don't know if I have a mentor per se. And every time I go and do a corporate training, I learn more than I give. So I think every time I go there, I come back with gratitude because each one of them is a mentor. I learn more than I teach.
Wow, well said. Well said. We also, when we shoot, when we go, so I am a film director and producer. So what happens is we are on the set.
Yeah.
We are following a script, and suddenly one, spot boy or somebody will come and say something which is very small, like, sir, camera thoda idhar kar lenge to acha lege. And then you do it and you're like, dude, this was good.
Exactly.
And I've just learned something from.
Yes.
So yeah, I really understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And Tejo, it was wonderful talking to you. Maza aa gaya. And we see you very soon in Bangalore.
I look forward to that.
Thank you for being a part of us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Same here.
Stay blessed.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.